everyone, Stephanie here, coffee drinker, book lover, and reviewer of many things, and today I have a book review for you. I loved iced coffee. Um, Today I am reviewing Midnight Feast by Lucy Foyer, Foley, Foley. I, you know, yeah, no. Um, and I'm going to try to keep it short and sweet, but I like to talk, so I want to read you the summary first, and then I will take you through what my thoughts were. Secrets, lies, murder. Let the festivities begin. It is opening night of the Manor, the newest and hottest luxury resort, and no expense, small or large, has been spared. The infinity pool sparkles. The Manor Mule, which is a cocktail of grapefruit, ginger, vodka, and a dash of CBD oil, is being poured with a heavy hand, and everyone is wearing linen. But under the burning midsummer sun, darkness stirs. Old friends and enemies circulate among the guests. Just outside the manor, just outside the manor's immaculately kept grounds, an ancient forest bristles with secrets. And it's not too long before the local police are called. Turns out the past has crashed the party with deadly results. Everyone's got a secret. Everyone's got an agenda, but not everyone will survive the midnight feast. Now, I absolutely wanted to love this book. I think I made a mistake. I listened to this book and I just wasn't feeling it with the voices. I don't know if that's the only reason that I wasn't like, oh my gosh, 5 stars. But whenever I go and look at this on Goodreads and so on Goodreads it has a 3.6, and on Audible it has a 4.3. Maybe it just wasn't for me. Like I said, maybe it was the voices, maybe like it was the narrators. I normally like those narrators in their own like separate ways, but I don't know, I just felt it was like not, it wasn't meshing okay with my vibe. It was great for summer though. um all right, oh, I have this new thing. I want to try it out real fast. Let me see if I can do this. Let's see. It won't stay like this. Yay, look at that. How cool. Okay. So I put this right here and I got to check it off of my adult reading challenge. The Midnight Summer was number 13 on my list. And then go way back here. I wrote it in green. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna make that go away because I have to be awkward to do that. Because the mic is right here, and I have to like stretch under and over. Oh yeah, I also did this in glitter. Okay, if it looks weird, it's because I stopped. My husband just got home, and I had to tell him what our kid was supposed to be doing. It's his turn. Um, so here's my review. Title, Midnight Summer. Author, Lucy Foley. I knew it started with an F. I technically started this in June. It was the last day in June, and I needed something to listen to while I was in the shower. And so I started it while I was in the shower, and honestly, it felt like it was written for someone younger than me. I almost DNF'd it, guys. I was like, I can't listen to this boy talk about boy stuff. I guess, like, we'll get to it. Don't worry. I finished this July 4th. I did. We went to a parade in our town, and then we came home because I got stung by something right here. It's a little bitty red dot now, like pink dot. It doesn't even look like anything now. It looks like a freckle. But it was all like red, and my whole arm was like tingly. I don't know what it was. I know it was black because I smacked it, which probably didn't think that through very well. And I came home and washed my arm because it was like I was all sweaty because we were outside. And then I put rubbing alcohol on it, and I put calamine lotion, the bug stuff. I don't know what it's called. And then I just sat down and listened to the rest of this book, and was like, and then we went back and to town whenever they did like a drone show and fireworks. So I gave this 3.7 stars, I believe, on what was it, Storygraph, because Goodreads doesn't let you do halves and quarters. And I gave it 3 stars on Goodreads. I gave this 1 spice because we talk about the naked body and things that the body can do. And then at the beginning of the book, because he's turned on by this older woman, he's like, oh, and then there is talk of her towards the end, the party is going crazy and things are happening, and there's someone mounting a stuffed animal, and the person's mind is like, how barbaric, like, oh, how did they get here? So you hear about stuff, but and then there's talk of the aftermaths of being in bed together and how crazy some people get. But you don't actually have any of those emotions and all that stuff. So take that as you will. There wasn't very much. So little and much, I forgot about that one scene until just now. The genre was mystery crime fiction. This was 10 hours long. I didn't think it needed to be 10 hours long. I think a whole bunch of it could have been cut out in the beginning. It just felt like we were just here. This had 112 chapters because it was broken up by person. Like when you switched POVs, I had to go through and count them all because they're not labeled as chapter 1, chapter 2. It's like Eddie, Bella, Frankie, Owen. Other stuff by this author. Sorry, I think I just hit the mic. The guest list, the Paris apartment, the hunting party, the invitation. That's all I have on here. So there's probably more, but I don't know. My favorite character was Eddie's mom. Um, I can't tell you what my quote is about. I can read the quote to you, but I can't tell you what it's about because it will give away a big part of the book. My favorite part of the book was the end. Um, yeah. Okay. Favorite quote. I needed somewhere I could grab them quickly, and somewhere your dad wouldn't look, 'cause he never cleans. He, oh, wouldn't look because he never does any cleaning. Yeah. I can't tell you what that's about, but when she said that, I was like, oh my gosh, that's great. Um, Also, it's a sweet conversation between her and her son, and after this, he's like, no, dad. And she's like, no, it's not your dad. And he's like, well, he wasn't here. And she's like, yeah, he was in some shed playing Fortnite with some young kids. Like that, we all have to have our outlets, hun. um, so I felt like this book had too many POVs. And I think the problem was we had the point of views of our main characters. Well, okay. You have Bella, Isabel, who also went by Sparrow. You have Frankie, uh, Francine, who goes by Frankie in the past. You have like the past and the future, and it's kind of all jumbled up. And so the beginning almost makes no sense at all. And I just wanted to be like, can you just, I want to know the past and then tell me the future? Or they could have been like, here's a little sneaky peek, a little bit of the beginning where we see Isabel come into this thing and maybe maybe the first like opening part. And then you do all of the past stuff and then come back to the future. Or the present, sorry. But I felt like it was very like, the future, past, future, past, future, past. And it was like hard to keep things straight. Also, some of our future sounded very much like they could have been a different kid of the past. So that's how I started. Um, there felt like a lot of POVs in this book. Also, what? The first half of this book was so boring, and everything picked up by the end. Like I said, Eddie was just a typical 19-year-old awkward boy, and by the end he learns and uncovers so much that he's pretty much a young man now. Or maybe not. I added that in because something happens. Bella was Bella was there under a disguise to prove Frankie is a murderer, but she meets Eddie instead and then learns about Eddie's brother, Jake, and what Jake put in motion before everything went down. I feel so bad for Owen. The reveal for who he was and who his mom was a good one. That was one of the best parts of the book. When that happens, you're like, Oh my gosh. The birds. The reveal for the birds was really good. And that's all I wrote. The birds were my favorite part. Not not all real birds. Um so in the past you have Isabel who goes by Sparrow. Well, she goes by Bella. I believe no, she goes by Isabel. And she meets Frankie on the beach, who ends up being Francine of the future. And Frankie is like, hey, you should come hang out with us. And so it's her and her twin brothers. And so she's invited to the manor, which at the time is just a mansion for this family. And she goes there a lot. And where her family is staying is like an RV park. It's summertime. They're summering there. Um, and Frankie does other stuff with her. Like, they go mushroom picking in the forest. And if you know what I mean. And you find out that Frankie stole some pills from her mom before her mom left them to their grandma's house. And there's drinking because they know older kids that get them stuff. And their grandparents obviously know that all of this happens because as soon as something bad happens, Frankie calls her grandpa and is like, hey, this happened. What do I do? And he shows up and takes care of it. Um, okay. Then the grandpa. Oh, okay. So Isabel or Bella, Sparrow, whatever you want to call her, and Eddie's older brother, they kind of date. And so she invited him to the big party at the end of the year when they were kids, the midsummer party. And stuff happens before the Frankie made that call, and Grandpa pays them off to not say anything. And Eddie is older. I mean, not Eddie. Jake is older than he's 19 in the beginning of the book, and then his brother is 19. Wait, what? I mean, I guess Eddie could have been like 3 or 4. Yeah, Eddie would have had to been like 4 when all of that was going down, because Eddie is 19 when we meet him, but Jake was 19 when we met him. That's a big difference between kids. I'm sorry. Like if that's an age gap. Anyway, my brain was like, what? Um when we meet Eddie, he is allergic to cows. They run a farm. And he's allergic to cows, and his dad pretty much thinks of him as like a letdown, is how he feels. And because he can't take over the business because he's allergic to the cows. And so there, like I said, it's flashing back and forward, and you find out that Jake was going to take over the family business, and when the grandpa tries to pay them off, Jake is like, no, this is wrong. We find out the big reveal, one of the big reveals about the person, some person, and he's like super upset about it, And the grandpa is like, I have it under good authority that your dad doesn't always follow the rules when it comes to charting the stuff that happens on your farm. And so then he's like, oh my gosh, I actually have to keep this secret. And he's like, panic mode. And you don't know what, Bella doesn't know what happened to him. She heard that he died. And you find out that he didn't. And that everyone who was related to the past was invited by him. Like little things were like pushed out into motion. Yeah. And it's just like, what is happening? I don't want to spoil this book because somebody might read this book and be like, oh my gosh, it was amazing. But I just didn't like it that much, I guess. I do have to say, Francesca. I don't know what her name is. Frankie, as an adult, is out of her mind. Before she has to give a big speech, she takes 5 shots of vodka and then some white pill. We don't know what it is. She just says, and this little secret white pill. And then she has some of the cider that they're pushing out that has the CBD oil in it. And that's a lot of stuff. And I was like, how are you walking? Because it talks about, she floats. She's ethereal. And everyone's like, how? How are you this, like, being? And then you hear inside her mind. And at the end, when her inner thoughts start coming out, she's like, well, I am sorry that I am not upset with you. Or she's like, I am not upset with you that this happened. I need to give myself a timeout. And she walks away, and it's like, you didn't even apologize for yelling at her. Like, when they're in the woods as a kid, there are nods to the birds. And there's a legend that everyone in town knows about the birds. And before her granddad passed away, he told them, be nice to the birds. Do what the birds tell you. And she didn't know what that meant because she was like, I made up the birds as a kid. But then these black big bird figures, not big bird, not yellow, they're black. They're black feathered. Start popping up. It's so cool. It's so cool. And I'm not going to tell you everything, but something happens towards the end of the book. And Eddie gets his hands on a costume. And he had stuffed it into his bag on his bike. And when everything starts going chaos and Frankie starts losing her mind and she's trying to hit other people and she blurts out the person that she offed as a kid and all of this stuff happens. He sees, she gets in the car, like she set her place on fire. She gets in a car and she's trying to flee the scene, and there are two people running after her, and he's like, that's ridiculous. They'll never catch her that way. And he grabs his bike because he rides his bike to work because he works for her. And he starts pedaling because he's mad at her too. And he's like, this is absolutely terrible. All the stuff that you've done, because he just learned about the past. And he's super fast on his bike because he's athletic. He does rugby and all of that boy sports stuff. And he's like, oh, she went that way. On my bike, I can go this way and cut her off. And so he does that, and then he's like, what do I do? Like, I got here before, what do I do now? And he puts on the costume, and he stands in the middle of the road screaming, and it terrifies her because she's like, oh my gosh, she's tripping already. She's gone because somebody spiked the already spiked cider, and she downed 2 glasses after everything starts going crazy. She's like, I just need a little help to stay calm. And so she downs them, and they're spiked. So that's like even more on top of what she's already got in her system. So she's tripping. And she, in her mind, him standing there is even bigger and monstrous. And she off a cliff with her car. But and here's the thing that I'm like, we didn't get a solid answer, because he remembers seeing her crawling away from the car. But we also have the information that she did not survive. So did he her, or did he walk away and someone else? Because there were 3 other people who were very upset with her. Very, very upset with her. And her brothers, who don't make it. Thank goodness. They would do things to townies and then be like, oh, that never happened. You must have taken something. All we had was brownies. We didn't have anything else. How much did you have to drink? And like, they would just like leave them after doing what they wanted to do to them. So they got, I mean, I don't condone murder, but they got accidentally locked in a wine cellar when there was a fire. Ooh, that their sister caused. But the sister didn't lock them in. Someone else did. I mean, what? It was an accident. Well, yeah. But the reason why oh my gosh, my hair is so weird right now. 2 different curls. The reason I was confused about how Frankie died, how she died, because Eddie, after that happened, goes back to the manor and starts saving people. He starts rescuing all the people that are good people that didn't have anything to do with her. They were just here because they worked there, or they were here for the opening of a new place. Yeah. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Because if you're confused while listening to me, You might be a little less confused if you listen to the book, but I wish, like I said, I wish I would have picked it up and physically read it, because I think I could have handled the jumping around a little bit better. Because they only had, what, two, three narrators, so sometimes the voices all sounded the same. 5 narrators. So listen at your own risk. And yeah, I don't know what more to say about this book. So we're going to go ahead and I'll do a little check-in with you. I am currently reading The Caretaker from my library. It's going to go with my Goodreads challenge that I'm doing. I am reading Fruits Basket number 4, and I am sad that it's over, but I'm a little confused with it. I'll tell you more about that at the end of the year. At the end of the month. And I am reading Stonewalkers. I'm halfway through that book, so it'll be a video soon. And I'm reading Operation Robot Storm with my kid. We're about halfway through with that. In fact, we're in the middle of chapter 6 because the chapters are long. And by the time we get in her bed, I'm like, and then the robots. Um, it's a very interesting kid story. I'm not gonna lie. I am working on putting everything together for my health curriculum that I'm doing for my kid. So I'm going to be doing a video for the health and mental health. I'm just going to put that all together, talk about the books I'm using and where I got my curriculum, if it's still available. Because one of the curriculums that I threw in there, I got it on sale because they were going out of business. But it looks really good, so. And yeah, we're doing a bunch of summer activities. We're doing the dinosaur camp right now. She just finished today's schoolwork. That's because I think the normal school year for public school kids is like 180 days, and we only do Monday through Thursday school because I wanted to do like a focus in the summertime on something. This year just happened to be dinosaurs. I'm excited to see what next year's is going to be. And we've been doing a lot of stuff at the library because that's fun. They've also been doing dinosaur theme, but today is a fire truck is going to be at the library, and we're going to go play in the water. So I don't know what's going to happen. We might not stay very long. It's hot outside. Yeah. That's all I have in the works right now. And come back and see me. If you liked this video, give me a thumbs up. Comment below. Have you read The Midnight Feast by Lucy Foley? What did you think? Without too many spoilers. But I do believe that Owen's story was kind of the saddest part. And yeah. Are you doing my reading challenge with me? If you want to, there's still time. You still have time. Some of you are super readers. You could probably get it kicked out of the park. And I'll leave the Google Docs in the description for you, so you can print it out. And I'll leave a way to get it. If you get a book, if you click on a link and it takes you to Amazon. I'm an Amazon associate, so I do get a little bit of the sales price, I think. And if you try to do the paper pie challenge with me, which is the kid challenge, not all of those books are available anymore. But I am a paper pie consultant, so I do get some money from those books, from the sales price. And I don't subscribe. If you're not sure if you want to subscribe, click my face bubble or my name, a Coffee Drinkers Review, and it'll take you to my channel, and you can check out my other videos. I also like to post randomly in the little community tab because I can. It's my community tab. So feel free to check that out too. And share this video because sharing is caring, and someone else might want to know about a midnight feast. Midnight summer. My brain was like, I feel like we didn't get a feast. We didn't get to eat. I do like the costume that's sent to Bella though. So anyway, I will see you on my next video. Bye!